Ladies and gentlemen, a significant and controversial development is unfolding at the intersection of two powerful federal entities, the U.S. Department of the Treasury and the Social Security Administration. In a joint effort, these two agencies have teamed up in a way that's stirring up major debate, an effort that could deeply impact the lives and financial security of millions of Americans who rely on monthly Social Security benefits. Now, before we go deeper, let me just ask you a quick question: fair or unfair? As we explore these updates and the implications they hold, I encourage you to think about that. You can comment down below, just one word, fair or unfair. Or if you've got more to say, go ahead and share your thoughts. Your voice matters in a time like this. So what exactly is happening? Well, the Social Security Administration has released a press statement, yes, a formal government-issued release, announcing the reinstatement of the Treasury Offset Program, also known as TOP. This program had been dormant since early 2020. That's right, it was suspended for more than 5 years, but now, in March 2025, it's officially back. And that has some serious implications. Let's break it all down. The Treasury Offset Program allows the federal government, through the Department of the Treasury, to intercept federal payments that would normally go to individuals, in order to collect debts that are owed to various government agencies. In this case, the Social Security Administration is using this program to recover overpayments made to beneficiaries. Overpayments? Yes. Here's how it works. Let's say Social Security overpaid a recipient years ago, 5, 10, even 20 years ago. Maybe it was due to a clerical error. Maybe it was the result of outdated income information. Whatever the reason, Social Security now claims that too much money was paid out and that the individual now owes the government thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, of dollars. And here's the kicker: beneficiaries are receiving letters that say, essentially, we made a mistake. You owe us now. And you have 30 days to pay it back. Just imagine that. You're retired. You rely on a fixed monthly income. And out of nowhere, you receive a letter from Social Security saying you must repay $10,000. Or more. Within 30 days. That's not just alarming, it's almost unthinkable. Now, Social Security does provide a few options when someone receives such an overpayment notice. Here they are. You can file an appeal if you believe the overpayment wasn't valid or was calculated incorrectly. You can file for a waiver, essentially requesting forgiveness of the debt due to hardship or administrative error. You can simply pay it back, cutting a check or arranging a repayment plan. Or, you can do nothing, which isn't recommended, but is technically an option. However, if you choose this route, the consequences can be harsh. Now, if no action is taken, no appeal, no waiver, no repayment, that's where the Treasury Offset Program comes in. Here's what happens next. Social Security identifies individuals with outstanding overpayment debts. They send those names and account balances over to the U.S. Treasury. And then, the Treasury goes to work. What does that mean? It means that the Treasury can, and will, intercept federal payments owed to you, including tax refunds, certain federal wages, and other benefits, until your debt to Social Security is repaid in full. Yes, they are legally allowed to do this. And they're already doing it. In fact, according to the data provided in the March 2025 press release, they've already targeted over 280,000 individuals. And through those efforts, they have recovered a jaw-dropping $2.7 billion in overpayments. That averages out to nearly $10,000 per person. Let's pause and let that sink in. That's $2.7 billion pulled from Americans, many of them seniors, disabled individuals, and vulnerable citizens, who are now forced to repay what Social Security calls overpayments, even when those payments were the result of government errors. Now, you might be wondering, am I at risk? Here's how to tell. If you've received an overpayment notice and you're currently already repaying the debt through garnished benefits, have an approved repayment plan in place. have successfully filed an appeal or waiver. Then you're likely not the target of this latest enforcement wave. But if you've received no notice, or worse, received one and haven't taken action, you may find that your federal tax refund, for example, disappears without warning. That's the Treasury Offset Program at work. This reinstatement has caught many off guard. Remember, the program had been suspended since the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic, as the government took steps to protect vulnerable Americans. But now, with a renewed focus on fiscal responsibility, the program is back in force. And it's not just Social Security. The Department of Education is now using this same Treasury Offset Program to collect on defaulted federal student loans, specifically targeting more than 5 million borrowers who've fallen into default. The Treasury is going after them, too. In short, the Treasury Offset Program is once again in full operation, siphoning federal payments from individuals across the nation to recover debts owed to federal agencies. Now, while all of this is happening, we know that times are more uncertain than ever. The economy is in flux. Prices are rising. Retirees and people with disabilities are doing their best to make ends meet on fixed incomes. And then, this. So again, I ask you, is this fair? Or unfair? Drop your answer below. And if you're feeling the pressure of navigating these systems, especially as it relates to Medicare, I want to offer you a trusted resource. The number on your screen connects you directly with licensed, experienced Medicare advisors. These folks are experts in the field. Whether you're turning 65, retiring, moving to a new state or county, looking for better coverage, or just need to compare Medicare Advantage, Part D, Supplement, or Medigap plans, they are here to help. They work with over 20,000 plans across the country and will help you identify the best options for your situation. Best of all,